Hi, welcome back to my booktube channel. This one's going to be all the books that I read in January. I'm going to go from my least favorite books to my favorite one. The first one is Poor Unfortunate Soul, A Tale of the Sea Witch. The cover is kind of cool because underneath it looks like that. This is by Serena Valentino. This one is not good. The first one in the series, Fairest of All, about the evil queen from Snow White, is good, which is why I bought all of the books. But the author has thrown in 3 of these random witches to kind of intertwine all of the stories. And this one didn't work at all, and it kind of just seemed like the story was about these 3 random witches. And I almost didn't learn anything about Ursula, and Ariel was like barely mentioned. I don't remember like anything that I read. So I gave this 1 out of 5 stars. I do not recommend. Next one is Creepover #1, Truth or Dare by PJ Knight. This is about a group of girls at a sleepover, and then this one girl tells all the other girls that she has a crush, or who she has a crush on, and then she gets a text that's like, hey, you better stay away from him. So she doesn't know, the rest of the book is, she doesn't know if it's a ghost or a jealous girl that sent her that text. This book is not scary at all. I know it's for kids, but I think the scariest part was the fact that she has a toxic friend in this book, and it's like it's no big deal, which I hate when they do that in little kid books, because kids are reading these and they're like, oh, it's cool if you just like forgive your friends for treating you like crap. No, it's time to find new friends. Yeah, I don't recommend. This gets 1 out of 5 stars. Next one is Half Minute Horrors. It's by multiple authors. It's just short scary stories. These were not scary at all. I think there was probably 2 that were even worth mentioning. It was kind of like the person that put this together found a bunch of popular authors and they were like, hey, would you like to write can you just submit a short story real quick for this? And it's like they didn't get enough time to come up with something good because this was kind of lame. So 2 out of 5 stars. Next one is Outliers, A Story of Success by Malcolm Gladwell. I read this because my sister Sydney was reading it in school a while back, and I thought it was going to be like the book Freakonomics. And they were similar, but this one was really, it wasn't really boring to me, but it was boring. I think he just went on a little too long on each topic. So if you want something a little more interesting, I would read Freakonomics. So this one gets 2 out of 5 stars. Next one is Almost Adulting, All You Need to Know to Get It Together, sort of, by Arden Rose. This one's just kind of advice on how to be an adult, but it's not really advice. It's more like this girl's life story. I kind of feel like she wrote this book as an excuse to just tell her life story, and she does give some good, like, decent advice throughout, but with every piece of advice there's a background story, normally involving her boyfriend. And she's also only 21, so I'm sorry, but I can't really give her credit. She's just entered adulthood, yet she's writing a book about it. So I don't know, it wasn't really for me. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. The next one is Stop Getting Dumped, All You Need to Know to Make Men Fall Madly in Love with You and Marry the One in 3 years or less. By Lisa Daly. Kind of thought this would be funny, or it might have something smart in it. But really, it sounds exhausting. Like, what the author wants you to do is like date 3 different guys at a time. They always have to text you. The guy always has to pay. And you're supposed to always be busy. You're supposed to either have a date lined up or you're supposed to be going out with your friends. And if you have a full-time job, then ain't nobody got time for that. So I don't know, maybe this advice does work, but I don't have time to try it. And it's a little outdated. It was written in 2002, back before Tinder existed and like everyone had smartphones. So, and plus everyone's trying to be equal. And so I feel like some guys these days that want to pay don't really know what they should do or what the girl wants them to do because they don't want to come across as sexist. So it's a very confusing time for dating. So I don't know how much this book can help you these days. But it gets 3 out of 5 stars. Next one is Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. This is the same author that wrote Confessions of a Shopaholic, and I love those books. This book is about a girl with social anxiety, and I guess an event happened at her school, which they never explained, but I guess she is too scared to leave, and she always wears sunglasses. Her brother has a friend who comes over to the house, and they end up becoming friends, and soon they become more than friends. It was a quick read, but I only gave it 3 stars because I found that the romantic relationship didn't really seem like it would have happened. Didn't really seem realistic to me. And some of the things she was doing to like cure herself, or like the guy was trying to help her cure herself, it didn't really seem like it would work in real life. I mean, I'm not an expert on this or anything, but it just didn't really seem believable. But it was a decent, so it gets 3 out of 5 stars. Then the last book was my favorite book of January and my favorite book that I've read since Cinder last year, and that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This is a really, really good book. It's a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, but has like fairy people. So this girl Farah kills a wolf in the woods, and it turns out that it's this fairy, and her payment for that is she has to go live in the fairy realm for the rest of her life. So she's being like held captive there because she can either stay there or be killed. But there's a danger growing in the land of fairy, and if she doesn't stop it, then it would ruin the fairy world and the human world forever. It's like, I was super impressed with this book. I didn't really, like, I heard so many good things about it, but I didn't really know if it was actually going to be good. Like, the beginning reminds me of Hunger Games. The middle I can definitely see the Beauty and the Beast retelling aspect. And then the end, it was kind of like Twilight. But I wasn't mad at it. Like, it was like cheesy, like, or like kind of cringy, but like, I still liked it. And I mean, I love fairies, and like there's this like hot redhead fairy that reminds me of the fairy from Fern Gully, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. One thing that bothered me was that there's a character in there named Rysand, but it's spelled like Rysand, so it just bothers me that the author wanted it to be Rysand. And then there's this other part where he licks tears off of Farah's face, and I was like, the heck, is that supposed to be hot or something? Because that was just weird. And there was like this really weird fairy tradition thing called Callan May, and that was like a moment where I had to stop reading, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what the heck, like what's going on? Did that really just happen? But yeah, it was very interesting. Like, I just kept reading, and it's like kind of a romance, which I said I would never be into romances, but like it's good, and I enjoyed reading it, and I can't wait to read the second one. So yeah, those are all the books that I read in January. Please subscribe if you want to see more book videos. And if you have any recommendations for books that you want to see me film, then please feel free to put it in the comments. And thanks for watching. Bye.